The pre-detention trial of the defendants in the fake Bhutanese refugee case has continued today as well. Now, for the second day, the lawyers of the alleged culprits pleaded their defense, saying that the entire investigation process has been selective and biased. On the 24th of May last month, the Kathmandu District Attorney's Office had filed criminal cases against 30 individuals, of whom 16 are still on the run. The entire nation is waiting with bated breath for the final outcome of this multi-million rupees scandal involving high-profile names. Good evening, I'm Prarambha Dahal. Let's begin with the main stories. Talks of midterm elections rife in Koshi province. Government faces majority issue with frequent changes in power sharing. Victims without citizenship certificates are further worried as the new provisions are not implemented, continue to face several hardships. 400,000 tourists visit Nepal in the past 5 months. The government claims tourism sector revived by 92%. And the final squad for the men's national football team announced for the SAF Championship. Coach Alberto Anis has 3 new faces in the 23-member squad. Citing the abuse of the arrangement of midterm elections by political parties after 1990, the new constitution had introduced relatively strict measures. Political parties tried to restrict the rights of the Prime Minister. The constitution included an arrangement for midterm election only for the situation when ultimate efforts for formation of the government do not materialize. However, provinces that are barely into their second term have begun discussing the prospects of midterm elections. Analysts have said that such developments only weaken federalism and further burden to the state coffers. In addition to the center, the constitution has provided for alternatives for formation of the government in the provinces. These alternatives are formation of the government by the party with majority, followed by a majority government of coalition between 2 or more than 2 parties. The third alternative is the formation of the government under the leadership of the largest party. Such a government must generate a vote of confidence within 30 days, while the failure to do so will open doors for any member to claim the government leadership on the basis of majority, while such claimants are appointed Prime Minister by the President in the center and the Chief Minister by the governors in the provinces. Midterm elections are to be held when none of these 4 conditions are met. A complicated situation has surfaced in the Koshi province. The province government has fallen in minority. CPN-UML and Rashtriya Prajatantra Party are together against the alliance of Nepali Congress, CPN Maoist Center, CPN Unified Socialist and Janata Samajwadi Party. In such a situation, the current government is not likely to generate the vote of confidence. In the 93-member Provincial Assembly, a majority of 47 votes is required. With 40 UML and 6 Rashtriya Prajatantra Party members, they have 46 Provincial Assembly seats, while the alliance of Nepali Congress and Maoist Center also have 46 seats. The vote of the Speaker is deemed decisive in this juncture. The Constitution does not have any arrangement for dissolving the Provincial Assembly until all the alternatives for government formation are exhausted. Midterm elections are only held when none of the provisions materialize. Changes in province governments have become regular with the changes in coalitions in the center. Such a practice has only increased instability. Federalism experts are of the opinion that such repetition will only increase burden on the state coffers. Provincial political equations have not been stable as major parties have been involved in power games while remaining indifferent to national interest. If the current situation persists in Koshi province, midterm elections may have to be held. The scenario only renders last year's elections held with large investments meaningless. The people who were designated to receive a citizenship as per the amended laws have grown further concerned as the court has directed not to implement the new laws related to citizenship. The bill, which was certified by the President after a long wait, has drawn attention from all corners. Political parties are supporting and opposing the bill based on their political interests, while those without citizenship have said that the court decision has made them wait further, adding that the decision has pushed their future towards darkness. It is hard to believe that a mother was arrested for the mistakes of a son. However, Puzan Thimalsina, who does not have a citizenship, is a representative case in this situation. Puzan's father has remained out of contact for the past 22 years, while his mother had received a citizenship by birth. Poojan has been denied his citizenship so far. Without a citizenship, Poojan could not receive his driving license. A person had died after collision when Poojan was riding a motorcycle. He spent 2 years behind bars for the accident, while his mother was also held for 2 months. New laws related to citizenship have not come into implementation despite President Ramchandra Paudal's endorsement of the citizenship bill, as a writ was filed against it at the Supreme Court. Those without citizenship have been protesting the decision at several district administration offices and Maitigar Mandala in Kathmandu, which is close to the Supreme Court. In absence of amendments in the Citizenship Act, children of both father and mother with Nepali citizenship by birth have not been able to receive their citizenship. Those without the identification of their father have also not received their citizenship because of absence of required laws. The highest number of citizenship by birth was issued in Jhapa at 26,430. According to the Ministry of Home Affairs, there are around 500,000 children of those who have received citizenship by birth. Meanwhile, the government does not have any data on those with missing fathers and those requiring citizenship from the name of their mothers. The citizenship bill, which was endorsed by both houses of the parliament on 2 occasions, was held back by former President Bidya Devi Bhandari. However, the bill was certified by President Ramchandra Paudal, but those without their citizenship have been left disappointed as the implementation aspect met a roadblock with the writ at the apex court. It is now time for a short break, but for more news, to stay with us. The government has a target of bringing 1 million tourists in the country within the ongoing year. The government and tourism business operators have become enthused with significant arrival of tourists within the first 5 months of the ongoing year 2023. The government has declared the decade between 2023 and 2032 as tourism decade, however, has failed to prepare favorable programs to meet its target. 404,231 international tourists have arrived in Nepal within the first 5 months of the ongoing year 2023. The highest 31%, which is 128,760 tourists, were Indian nationals. In 2019, a total of 1.1 million tourists had arrived in Nepal, while within the first 5 months, the number was 498,000. Even as the government had declared the year 2020 as tourism year, it had to be scrapped because of coronavirus pandemic. Predictions have been made that the tourism sector of the country, which remained on a standstill for the past 2 years, will recuperate into previous condition this year. The government estimates that tourism sector has revived by 92%. The government has a target of bringing 1 million tourists within the first year of the tourism decade and gradually increase the number. The sector that has an investment of 2 trillion rupees and has provided direct and indirect employment to more than 1 million has the capacity to host 3 million tourists in a single year. However, private sector says that the authority has failed to formulate proper work plan. Despite the discontent of the private sector, the Tourism Board has claimed that Nepal's tourism sector has revived due to promotional activities. The target of the government and expectations of the tourism business can only be met by identifying new tourism destinations and focusing on the construction of additional infrastructures. In its policies and programs for the coming fiscal year, Gandaki province has aimed to develop the entire province as a tourist hub. The provincial government has been enthused as the province, blessed with nature, has witnessed revival of its tourism sector in recent time. The tourism sector, which had witnessed gradual improvement after the coronavirus pandemic, was hit hard by the unfortunate air crash of Pokhara for some time. However, the tourism entrepreneurs are now enthused as the number of foreign tourists has increased in the past 2 months. According to the data of the Nepal Tourism Board, 402,231 foreign tourists have arrived in Nepal since January. This figure is similar to the number of foreign tourists arriving in Nepal before the COVID pandemic. While 98,773 tourists had arrived in Nepal in the month of April, the figure stood at 77,703 in the month of May. Of them, 35,274 foreign tourists had entered the Annapurna Conservation Area in the month of April, while 23,562 reached the region in May. Most of the foreign tourists arriving in Nepal are Indian nationals. They have arrived in Nepal to avoid the summer heat in India and for pilgrimage, while those from other countries have arrived for trekking, mountaineering and adventure sports, among others. Muktinath of Mustang, Manokamana Temple of Gorkha, Peace Pagoda of Pokhara, Tilicho Lake of Lamjung, Annapurna Conservation Area, Dhorpatan Hunting Reserve, Manaslu Conservation Area, Dhaulagiri, Punhil, Mardi trekking routes and the Great Machapusre Trail are popular destinations among foreign tourists in Gandaki province. The recent increase in foreign tourists has been attributed to reduction in coronavirus cases, mountaineering season, Nepal's soothing environment, and promotion campaigns of the government and the private sectors. The number of Chinese tourists has also increased after China lifted the ban on foreign travel imposed on its citizens after reduction in coronavirus cases. China is ranked third among the highest number of tourists visiting Nepal in recent time. The main objective of tourists visiting Nepal is for refreshment, ensuring efficient operation of the Pokhara Regional International Airport, identification of new tourist destinations, construction of infrastructures, and promotion campaigns from the government and private sectors would ease in meeting the government target of 1 million tourists this year. It is now time for our segment Public Polls, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Poll.
Before we ask today's question, let us take a look at the result from yesterday's poll. Yesterday we asked, what is your take on CPI-UML's decision to lift the age limit of 70 years for leadership? 37% were for A, intention to discourage young leaders, 48% were for B, to fulfill vested interest, and 15% were for C, age is irrelevant in politics. And now here is our today's question. What should be done to make the Visit Decade campaign a success? Your options are A, expand infrastructures, B, identify new destinations, and C, more publicity. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. The government has increased income tax on public vehicles by a huge margin for the upcoming fiscal year. The annual income tax is to be imposed both on the vehicles operating on fossil fuel and the electric vehicles. The government aims to generate 1,248 billion rupees in revenue in the coming fiscal year. After generating only 56% of the target revenue in the 11.5 months of the ongoing fiscal year, the government has not just imposed taxes on new sectors, it has also increased the existing tax rates. The government, which has been imposing luxury tax and 39% tax on those earning more than 5 million rupees a year, has now increased the income tax on public vehicles, including microbuses and other four-wheelers. Tax has been increased from 4,000 rupees per year to 5,500 rupees on four-wheelers under 1,300 cc capacity. For vehicles exceeding 4,000 cc capacity, tax has been increased from 7,000 rupees to 9,000 rupees a year. While such taxes were not imposed on electric vehicles before, vehicles of 50 kilowatt capacity will be charged 3,000 rupees, while all public vehicles above 200 kilowatt capacity will be charged 7,500 rupees. Meanwhile, value-added tax has been imposed on the scooters ranging from 50 cc to 250 cc used by people with disabilities. Value-added tax has also been applied on wool, aeroplanes, helicopters, and imported agriculture producers. While the government has not increased a lot of tax on liquors, cigarettes, and tobacco products that harm human health, excise duty has been increased from 5% to 10% on SIM cards and memory cards. The government has also imposed 13% VAT on buffaloes, goats, sheep, mountain goats, fish, fruits, and fresh vegetables imported for commercial purpose. Now, with increment of taxes, prices of all kinds of goods are likely to be increased. In our Public Voice segment, today we have asked people in several provinces regarding their take on polarizing of political parties in provincial level during budget formation. Let us now take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
अपराधीलाई जब चाहिँ राजनीतिक क्षेत्रमा भित्र पसालिन्छ त्यो अपराधीको कारणले गर्दा देशको स्थिति यो अवस्था आएको
राजनीतिक किचोलमै अल्झिएर बजेटको कुरालाई रोक्नु भन्ने कुरा राम्रो कुरा हैन
राजनीतिक दलहरू प्रदेशमा चाहिँ किचोलमै अड्किएको परिस्थिति भनेको जनताप्रति उत्तरदायी नहुनु हो
जन लेभलबाट चाहिँ जनताका चाहिँ एउटा योजनाहरू आउन पर्यो त्यो अनुसार चाहिँ प्रदेश सरकारले चाहिँ बजेटको निधो गर्नुपर्छ
सरकारमै बसेका पक्षहरुमा पनि एकदम समानता छैन कि उनीहरु पनि कुन चाहिँ शक्तिमा जाने भन्ने हिसाबले होडबाजी मात्रै देखिन्छ
सरकारमा रहेका राजनीतिक दलहरू आफ्नै स्वार्थमा अल्झिएका छन्
उहाँहरू अहिले सत्ताको खिचातानीमा हुनुहुन्छ र अब यो असार 1 गते आउन धेरै समय पनि छैन अब आज लगभग 25-26 गते भइसक्यो 4-5-6-7 दिन भित्रमा चाहिँ उहाँहरूले त्यो कर्मकाण्डी बजेटै ल्याउने हो
हामीले आफूले जिताएर पठाएका जनप्रतिनिधिहरू आफ्नो क्षेत्रमा चाहिँ हामीले के गर्नुपर्छ हाम्रो दायित्व के हो भन्ने विषयमा गम्भीर नभएको देखिन्छ
We have more news coming up, but right now it is time for yet another short break.
Sports news.
Final squad of the men's national football team has been announced for the SAF Championship. Italian coach Vincenzo Alberto Anisi has included 3 new faces in the 23-member squad. Coach Anisi has announced a 23-member squad with experienced and young players for the SAF Championship, which kicks off in India on the 21st of June. Midfielder Lakan Limbu and defender Simanta Thapa and Bimal Pandey have been included in the national squad for the first time. Team Nepal are placed in Group A alongside Kuwait, Pakistan and hosts India, while Group B includes Bangladesh, Lebanon, Bhutan and the Maldives. With the Martyrs Memorial A Division League in progress, Team Nepal have not been able to train as the clubs have yet to release the players. Nepal take on the Philippines in a friendly match on the 15th of June to prepare for the SAF Championship. Nepal play Kuwait on the 21st of June before playing India on the 24th and Pakistan on the 27th. They had reached the final of the previous edition of the tournament, which was their maiden appearance at the title decider. So that is all for the moment. Up next is the news in Nepali. Thank you for staying with us. Goodbye for now.